Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Today's topic is Pantone's color of the year, Viva Magenta. It's a beautiful shade of red which vibrates with vim and vigor and expresses a new signal of strength. It's a brave and fearless color, and it has we can use the color in different ways in interiors. So we will cover a lot of different ways in which one can use Viva Magenta in different spaces. So as you can see, it's the color of the year 2023. And for anyone who is new to the color magenta, it's definitely a very bold color, and it's a very rebellious color, audacious, you can say. But it's a nuanced crimson tone that represents a balance between warm and cool. And it is also a hybrid color, one that comfortably straddles the physical and virtual in our multidimensional world. Daring designers can harness the full power of the color as a velvet couch or a lacquered wall. Those who desire a more neutral home can definitely use it as a pop of color. In designer's language, colors have the ability to affect a user's mood and showcase a reflection of the brand. When it comes to commercial spaces, these factors make color selection crucial to the overall design. This year's color is definitely bold. With reference to interiors, the shade exists in a border of blasphemy and ballsy. Too much of it can make a space overpowering, and just the right amount could add the coveted edgy streak. In the images here, you can see that it definitely overpowers, but we have paired it with, herringbone wooden flooring, or there is a mustard accent wall which is coming in, some paintings of, black and white or neutral colors and different accessories. We love this console, which you see in the central image. It's like a perfect pairing of black, white, and accents of gold. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty easy to use and it doesn't feel overbearing at all. Such a vibrant color can be a sleek spreader within the furniture. Countertops, shelves of commercial offices, and united with, light, creamy white colors and textures, and of course, different types of indoor plants. Plants play a huge important role in, balancing the red with this little bit of freshness, and grays can also, balance out the red, like the hard tone of it. And always ensure that you do not overdo a single tone of color. Basically, the left image, if you see, it might be a little too overpowering for a lot of people who might feel uncomfortable in a space. Whereas on the right side of the image, you see that the wall has been very well balanced with, gray couches, and also, with the right, with a small planter, and with some nice wooden flooring in gray, obviously. So apart from that, you can bring in the excitement, and as you can see in this particular image on the left hand side, you have all these beautiful cabinets in the kitchen made with again ply or something, with a PU or a Duco finish of that particular color. You can see all these cute knobs which are in gold, which add that perfect balance of warm tone with the cool toned red, and perfect accessories, especially the basin, the sink. And yeah, I mean, like, there's a lot of fresh light coming into the space, and it just makes a perfectly balanced space overall. In the central images, if you see, yeah, it's, I think, a TV room, which is, I think, a living room in most countries. You have a beautiful wooden console, and from what I can see from the image, it's again wooden flooring. So, like I said before, wooden flooring, especially engineered wooden flooring, brings in a lot of warmth into this space. And again, cabinets and everything. Moving on, so tiles are playing a huge role nowadays. They are adding that right amount of gloss and texture into the space, paired with a lot of paintings, etc. The color looks absolutely magnificent. So on the left side, if you see, you have all these boho chic artworks with lilies and different plants, books, obviously, and it just brings the space together. In the second image, if you see what I was talking about earlier, the industrial finish, which is like the brutalism style, is coming back. And especially for commercial offices, this color can definitely be something you can experiment with. Paired with, again, from the same family, there's a lighter pink, some gray furniture, a gray finishes, and again, paired with all those steel pipes, etc., the HVAC fittings, and things like that. On the third image, there's a beautiful couch, and yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? Furniture adds like the perfect amount of color tones into the space. Over here, we see a chimney, and you have all these cream workings overall. Yeah, I mean, the details are pretty precise. You have carpet flooring coming in, and you have like a very nice painting, candlestick stands, etc. In the central images, there's textured wallpaper, and there is also like different sort of carpets coming into the central image. And on the right side, if you see that there's these beautiful subway tiles, which we call them, in a herringbone pattern. So, using the color is really not that expensive. Tiles work perfectly in kitchens, bathrooms, restrooms, your powder toilets, and effectively in definitely most of the different spaces. And like we said previously, the color can work really well in furniture. So over here on the left image, we have that as a back paneling. So again, the paneling can be made either with a plywood or a HDF with some wainscoting, and the entire thing can be painted in a single color. So it does not add a lot of drama, but it just gives you the perfect canvas to play around with other different textures and tones. It can also work great as furniture pieces alone. So in the central images, you can see that there is this beautiful console we've made, and with the console we also have these beautiful chairs, and there's a single seater couch here. And in most of the images, you can see that the color pairs really well with green, especially foliage. So invest in good quality indoor plants. Do not shy away from indoor plants. They are really easy to maintain, and they just bring in all that air purification capacities with them. In this image, again, you can see that this is a different type of wall paneling, something very minimalist, and just straight, streaky lines. Just gives like a very clean sort of image, and it looks really chic, really luxurious. Little goes a long way in interiors, and this we've learned with a ton of experience in the field. And you can see again the color tones. What we see in almost all the images are usually grays and greens, which work together. To some turquoise, perhaps gold works really well for accents, and this sort of color scheme is something you can definitely give a try. And yeah, I mean, tell us in the comments, what sort of color scheme do you feel would work with the color. We would love to have a discussion on that. Yeah. So over here you can see sage green. So there's this beautiful minty sage green which is there, and different types of greens, different hues, different tones work so well. They just bring out a different side of the color entirely. I hope you're getting what I'm saying. And you see these cute planters. Planters can be kept at different levels. It doesn't have to be a single planter on the side of your on the side of the space, and it can be a central feature as well. The plants are extremely easy to maintain, like I said before. And you can see even the planter boxes, like you can experiment with them. You can also add those stands. You can hand paint the stands. There is a lot of scope for DIYing, painting them yourselves. It can be a great fun activity for your team. And again, works well with gray furniture. Here we've thought of soft furnishings in art, so nowadays a lot of people are investing in rugs and carpets, carpet flooring in some cases. So definitely there are a lot of brands in India which customize, and you can definitely give them the color codes, and they can definitely work on the Viva Magenta color in your space. So here you can see cream and ivory work really well with the color. And the Viva Magenta carpet flooring works as a perfect base for this gorgeous wallpaper as well. And we can see it works really well with vintage also, vintage traditional sort of ornamental architecture, ornamental sort of interior design, those details, and different sorts of carpets and everything also. Prints are also something which are really trending these days. People do not invest in expensive paintings, but quickly just download the prints and frame them. Here again, you have curtains. I mean, fabrics are something you can definitely play with, right? You can also dye them, and there are a lot of people which dye with the colors and things like that. And these, you can see that there's the chevron wooden flooring which is happening here. So let's not stick to just the normal long plank, right? So what I would suggest is definitely go for brands like Mikasa, which is an engineered wooden flooring company, which is, it's non, this post is completely non-sponsored. So Mikasa is a brand which I've recently discovered. It's a Griha certified brand in India. It's the only made in India brand. And makes different sorts of flooring options like long plank, herringbone, chevron, 30 years of warranty for residences, and so on. Here we see a different sort of shelving system. So this photo over here is from a post office in China. You wouldn't have imagined that, right? So this post office, again, it's like a shelving system. It's almost become a museum now because of its a lot of history behind the post office. A lot of visitors come in and take a look. So you can see that they've prepared it very nicely with, terrazzo sort of flooring, and terrazzo is really in for 2023. You guys heard me right. Terrazzo is something you can definitely invest in. It's a very inexpensive option when you compare it to marble, quartz, and things like that. It is just as sturdy, just as beautiful. And yeah, I mean, you can see different color schemes can work with it, and it adds that perfect balance, the perfect dash of color on the opposite side of the spectrum. Yeah. And yeah, so I mean, colors don't always have to be us bringing in, right? So have we thought of landscaping? Perhaps a small bongovilla planter in the balcony of the house you're designing, or if it's an office space you're designing, bongovilla will definitely, bring a beautiful charm into the space. I mean, it's a more of an outdoor sort of plant, obviously, because it grows like crazy, right? So yeah, you can definitely think of landscaping. And over here, you can see the cabinets here are again painted with Viva Magenta, with a very sleek tiled concrete finish sort of flooring. A very creamy white couch, and you can see that the color of the cabinets move on to the island kitchen also. So they brings a sort of continuity, and there is this gold accent work which is happening basically. So yeah, that's there. And over here, it's more of this NYC sort of apartment, the boho chic apartment. You have this very nice green couch. You see a shawl with, the Viva Magenta color all lane, and, a beautiful, gorgeous painting. Again, planters, a vase, and it just works well, so you can see that these sort of colors work really well, gray, mustard, browns, different shades of green, and you even Viva Magenta has a very big spectrum. So you can see from the image itself there is something leaning towards blue, there is something leaning towards green, and it will still be termed as a magenta color. So yeah, whatever works for your space, you can definitely give it a shot. So moving on, we will also take a look at apart from wooden flooring, also there are a lot of options you can go for, especially marble. Marble is something that works with every color. The veins look absolutely gorgeous and beautiful, and marble doesn't have to be on your flooring alone. It can even be as an artwork. You can fix the slab on your walls, and it will still look as a great piece of artwork in your space. You can see here a client has gone for wooden flooring. They have these beautiful single seater sofas, chairs with different colors. There's a light blush baby pink, and then there is a Viva Magenta color. You have a lot of indoor plants, different types which are happening. There's something a little taller paired with something smaller in a center table there, and you have different sorts of marble things which is happening. You have a beautiful simple minimalist chandelier also. Curtains, like we said before, fabrics is something you can think about. Tiles, textured paints are available. Even your normal painter can come in, mix the colors, do some experimentation, and you can bring out a different color of your own, a different sort of magenta unique to your own space. And yeah, gold is something you can definitely work with. It definitely adds that bit of charm, that sort of luxuriousness. It can be in these normal miniature fittings, artwork. It can be just powder coated onto the stand of your furniture. There are different ways you can use gold, right? And gold works with green, gold works with gray, gold works with magenta, red, pinks, everything. So gold does not stick to magenta alone, right? Always invest in good quality lighting fixtures and you're good to go. So we are always, a lot of clients of ours come in and ask us that, should we go for traditional? Should we go for a modern design? I love vintage pieces, but I also don't want my space to look dated. So if you don't want your space to look dated, it's the right way to approach your design is to combine both of them. You can see this, the bed fixture which we have. You can see that it is extremely vintage. It reminds us of those old palatial bedrooms where you have those hanging sheer curtains and things like that on the sides of the bed. And again, we've just painted it with gold. You have this on the background, you can see on the wall you have this textured paint work which has been happening. There's an experimentation with different shades of pinkish reds and everything, the magenta color, and it works really well with this rug which we developed, black and white stripes and so on. Yeah, and you can see the color scheme is a little similar in almost all the like all the pictures we had right previously. So you can see ivory works really well. Light pinks are something you might feel that okay, colors in the same family don't really work together, right? You might feel that it just brings like a lot of pink into the car into the space, and it just becomes a little too pinky, right? It doesn't work that way. You can see in the first image, obviously, like the rug plays such a vital role in balancing the amount of pink. And there's this red artwork which just, brings the right amount of red into the space. It's almost like a vermilion sort of color, right? In the second image, we can see that there's this brick red sort of rug which is happening. In the third image, there's an oriental rug with a sheet of brown. And yeah, we come to the end of the video. We really hope you enjoyed the series. Please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell icon to stay updated. Do let us know in the comment section about what other topics would you like us to discuss about.